When you're faced with a situation and you start feeling defeated, discouraged, in your thoughts, you start questioning, well, where is God? Why am I going through this? You start questioning yourself. And we continue to do that because, again, we're filled with the emotion and we're facing the problem. I love this because in verse 11, he does this. And there's 3 points to today's episode to help encourage you in how do you overcome a situation when you're in that situation. How do you overcome? How do you turn things around? How do you just hit the switch and turn it around? And he does this, verse 11. But then I recall all you have done, O Lord. So the first thing when we're faced with these situations is we have to remember God's great works. That's the first thing. We have to remember God's great works. And that's what Asaph does. He's like, man, but then I recall all you have done, O Lord. I remember your wonderful deeds of long ago. I remember your wonderful deeds of long ago. So think back to another situation where you were stuck, you were, where you felt defeated, where you felt like you weren't going to be able to get out of it. And then reflect on, did you overcome? Because you're still here.
So on to that point, some of the things that I wrote that I jotted down because that stood out as well because that's the transition right there of the psalm. How quickly we realize that we put ourselves in these situations many times. We did it ourselves. Right? We put ourselves. If we focus on the negative, well, of course, it seems like the problem is bigger than what it really is because we're focused so much on it. We make it bigger.
Yeah.
Right. And then how quickly we are to blame others. Right. You start blaming others and you start blaming different things. So now you're just reaching out. And then the last one is you always start blaming God at that point. Right. Because you start losing hope. You start losing faith. And it's our own doing many times.
Yeah.
But do we ever reflect and think it's our own doing? God's grace never stops pouring out. God it's like, and you just said it earlier. Sometimes it feels like God's not there. But God's grace never stops pouring out. God's love never stops. God's mercy never stops.
Yes.
God's righteousness never stops. God's kindness never stops. God is never ending. So if God's the Alpha, the Omega, the never ending God, He's always there, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then why are we feeling this? Is because we put ourselves in the situations and we forget. But Asaph turns it around and says, let me recall what the Lord has done for me already in the past. And I remember, and that's what he remembers of those nights when he was singing and praising and rejoicing, right? And so he was able to be comfortable or was comfortable during that time. It was a peaceful time. So guess what? Let's recall that. Let's go back to that because I know that this situation doesn't look good right now. It doesn't feel good.
Yes.
But I know what the Lord has done.
Correct.
So
and that's
why wouldn't he do it again?
Exactly. And that's the key is you have to remember God's great works. And then after that, there's 3 steps. That's the first step. The second step is you need to meditate on God's great works.
Prayer.
And meditate. It was funny because I was sharing this message with the kids and they're like, Mom, is it okay to meditate? Is that like a spirit, because they were thinking in a different aspect, but meditate.
Science.
That's exactly, what they learned. Yeah. And I was like, well, meditating is pondering, it's thinking, it's thinking about something and it's a spiritual thing, either way, but that's exactly what it means. And so just really meditating on God's great works. And this is what he does, because after he does this, he says, I remember your wonderful deeds of long ago. They are constantly in my thoughts. So he's thinking about them. He's thinking about them. I cannot stop thinking about your mighty works. So he remembers God's great works. He meditates on God's great works. And then the third thing, and then he starts saying, oh God, your ways are holy. Is there any God as mighty as you? You are the God of great wonders. You demonstrate your awesome power among the nations. By your strong arm, you redeemed your people. So when he starts saying, ooh, you are the God of great wonders, right? Oh God, your ways are holy. Is there any God as mighty as you? And then he says, you are the God of great wonders. He starts talking about God's great works. And so that's the third thing is we have to remember.
Speak life.
Yes, we need to remember God's great works. We need to meditate on God's great works, and we have to talk about God's great works. And Asaph does this because he starts saying, you are the God of great wonders. You demonstrate your awesome power among the nations. By your strong arm, you redeemed your people. He starts talking about what he did. And the people he's talking about is the Israelites when he delivered them from slavery in Egypt.
Right.
And he split the Red Sea for them, right? So he's going on and he's talking about the power of God and reminding himself, man, if you did that for Moses and the Israelites, what can't you do for me?
That's right.
What can't you do for me?
That I mean, if that doesn't bring you, I mean, it brings a little bit of excitement to me, but more than anything, it brings hope.
Yes.
Because if you're suffering or going through something right now, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whatever mental issue, mental illness, let's get mental wellness in it. Right? Let's start speaking life to ourselves. Let's start turning around and saying, hey, let me seek out help. And that's what Faith Connections is all about. And that's what we're here. And we just thank you for tuning in, you know, and hopefully this is well received here.
And I want to encourage you after this, after you hear this, I want you to go and hear a song called Another One by Elevation Worship. Another One. Man, it's a powerful song, but it's a great reminder that, man, miracle after miracle, open door after open door. It's coming. Here it comes. Like it's, you know, you're meditating like, man, if you've already done it for me once, God, you will do it again. If he told the sun when to rise and it did, he will do it again. If he told the sea to split and it did, he would do it again. If he told the storm be still and it did, he would do it again. And so that is talking God's great works.
Right.